circle full of dogs. We put in a work. Let's go out there with a bunch of crazy dogs.
Boom. What's happening, Giants fans? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush, where, we talk Giants football 52 weeks of the year. We're here whether you like it or not. We love you people. We're the podcast you love to hate. We got the boys in the house today. I got the Joker. Sean's here. We got Chris, which otherwise is known as Nails or Biceps or anything that you want to call him, so just feel free to let him show you his 20-inch guns, okay? So super excited today because I'm rolling out. Let me see. I see you guys piling in the room. What's up, Bill? I'm going to be rolling out. What's up, G-Man? I'm going to be rolling out the new Giants Rush logo. Like, hello, super cool. So every 2 years, I make one up. Why? I don't know. It's fun. Right? It's definitely cool, refreshes it. And every year I get a little bit better at it. Okay. For you OGs out there, the original logo was a skeleton. It was hand drawn. It had a patch on his eye. I don't know what I was thinking. But, that was 10 years ago. So we've gotten pretty good over the last 10 years. We weren't always a podcast. We were just nygiantsrush.com. And then we turned into podcast. And anyway, Darius, what's up, my friend? Good to see you guys in the room. Glad to have you guys here. Plenty to talk about, right? Giants, Lions. We've got all sorts of reports from the defensive line coach, the running back coach. Definitely some cool highlights from Coach Patterson. We got to talk about rookies. We got to talk about injuries. But we can't. What's up, Tuto? But what we can't do is talk about it alone, by myself, talking to just the out into the ether. So let's bring in Biceps himself. What's up, dude?
It's more like cutoff, Craig. It's more like cutoff instead of Biceps.
That is true. He is tough. Every shirt the man owns, he cuts the sleeves off. The only reason why his dress shirts don't have the sleeves cut off on them is because it might not work for business.
It's also 90 degrees in the attic. You know what I mean? The air's not working.
That's true. That is true. His wife has got him stuffed up in the attic. The man cave is up there, so all the heat rises, right?
That's right.
So, Chris, we got a lot to talk about, right? Some cool stuff happening in Giants land, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're rolling out a new logo, dude.
I can't wait. It's time.
I can't stand myself because this is the best incarnation of the Giants Rush that we've ever had. We've had the crystal skull. We've had the skull with no jaw. We've had the, we've had the skull with no jaw with headphones. I've had it all. I'm actually going to complete. Well, I see a little bicep man in the corner here. He's tuning in. What's up, dude?
Yep, that's Gavin. Gavin's hanging out a little bit before I kick him out.
Gavin's hanging out, listening to some Giants Rush because everyone and their kids should listen to Giants Rush. Let's bring in the guy with no kids who's constantly just a single maven down there in Florida, flexing out his biceps too. Let's not discount the Joker's biceps because they're pretty big too. What's up, dude?
Listen, Chris, if I known you were going to wear the cutoff, man, I would have worn it. You should have told me. I missed the memo.
I saw a post a few weeks ago with you with the cutoff. You were ready to head out to a place to have a couple beverages. You look pretty thick there, Sean.
Listen, man, this is the kind of great content we provide to guys comparing their biceps to each other. Right? So
Florida, man, you can't wear sleeves.
This is what we do here. So thanks guys for hanging out. I see you guys are piling in the room. We're live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. And of course, Bill was kind enough to donate some cash because he wants me back on Twitter to grow the brand. And yep, what's up, Mark B? By the I definitely need to find a time to get that going because I keep forgetting to do it. So, Bill, I haven't forgot about that with your generous donation. of like, I don't know, crazy, like $83 or something nuts. Like he gave me, like, that's like, that's like 2 cases of beer. So, or a good bottle of something, right? Some Johnny Walker Blue or something. So, yep, I get it. I get her done. Guys, tons to talk about. So I'm going to ask you, to the people, do I unveil the logo now and get it out of the way, or do I hang on to it for later in the show? What do I do first? Tell me. Go ahead. Don't all speak at once. Chris, what logo first?
No, wait till the end. We got a lot of house cleaning to do.
Yeah. Boom. All right, Sean, you cool with that?
That's fine. I was gonna go logo first because we see back here.
Wait, I'm getting so G-Men and Mark both are saying unveil it now.
All right, let's go. Let's do it now.
We'll see if Jay, I don't know if you're on your meds today or not, but Jay, should I unveil the logo now or later? Oh, Mark says gotta get things done. So okay. Mark says he's got things to do. So open with a bang. All right, fine. Let's roll out the logo. Do not, after you see this amazing logo, I've got 4 different renditions of it. Don't disappear. Hang out. We're going to talk Giants football. All right. So without further ado, the brand new 2024 New York Giants Rush logo that you will be able to buy at the end of the week. And I'm going to give some away, because we're rolling out a new season. Let's put this up on the big screen. All right, everybody just hang on here. Let me get into the platform so I can roll this out the right way. All right. So I need to change the background. I know all this, right? This is like killing you, right? All right. So if I'm here, let's see. No logo in the background. All right, here we go. So the New York Giants Rush logo number 1. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There you go, peeps.
Nice.
I got me excited.
It looks great. No, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at that thing.
That's bad.
These are all awesome. I put up on the big screen already behind me.
I love the eye black too.
Yeah.
You like that, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I
got Miss Liberty with the eye black going, right?
Yep.
So
good feedback here.
I got the podcast logo behind me there. I've got just the Rush there. And then I got the circle there.
Oh, I like that. There you go. Nice. Hope everybody else likes it too.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting some feedback here. G-Man says looks sick. Mark B's giving me the Statue of Liberty. Shawnee Tuto's giving me the thumbs up. Bill says he likes it. Tuto is not dead. Skull was actually just the picture of Craig. That's not nice. See, you take the meds away from Jay, and he's off. Right? It's all right, Jay. I think you like it. You just don't want to tell me you like it. Yeah, man. It's definitely. What's up, Daniel? I might have missed Daniel here. Glad Daniel's in the room. So guys, we're gonna have it's up there on the screen behind Shawnee's head. We'll have them up on the website, so you'll be able to buy them. Spartan Mike's already hitting me up. He's like, dude, I need a quarter zip. I need this. I need that. So, again, one last look. I'll give it to you guys real fast. We've got NY Giants Rush with the eye black, right? That's just, that's the Liberty version. I got the pod version, which also says podcast behind it. They look killer on t-shirts. I've got the Rush one. And of course, the circles, basically the floating circle with the Rush podcast. So they'll all be available for you guys. Hope you guys like them. I'm totally stoked for it. We'll have magnets and stuff like that, and T-shirts all that way. Let's talk Giants football, guys. Tons to talk about. Let's start off with Neighbors. It's the biggest topic that we have. Neighbors injury update. Sean, I'll start with you. You know, Dave said that, doesn't look like a fracture. I was kind of like, well, either it is or it isn't. Like, I mean, you take an X-ray. So what's happening here, Sean, is this like, them being super precautious because they don't want to tell you what's really wrong? Or is it like more or less they don't want, maybe Neighbors to get disappointed that he's got a setback? What's your take?
Yeah. So, I mean, since Dave has been here, they really haven't come out and said much. He's from the Belichick school of don't give, medicals out, too specifically. And I would say this, like, Neighbors did the interview with Kay Adams right after practice. If it was anything really severe, I don't think they would let him do that interview right after. So, I mean, there's reason to be, cautiously concerned at this point, but I just don't think Dable's going to give any specific information at this point. He hasn't since he's been here. So I'm not worried until it's time to worry.
All right. I'll take that. You're taking the high road. How about you, Chris?
Yeah. Last week there was 2 physical practices against Detroit. He didn't really play on Thursday, just a few, a few snaps. Nothing was thrown to him. And then he gets hurt this week. He got 4 weeks or 4 Sundays until opening game. No need to rush him back. Let him sit it out this week. Let him sit out Saturday and then see how, things develop next week. Because next week you got the joint practice with the Jets, coming up. So whether he, plays in that, he's going to have 2 practices there. So he's going to get a lot of work in, but there's no need to rush him out when you're 4 weeks away.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's, from what Dave said, he didn't get stepped on, just rolled it. You know what I mean? That could be like, hey, maybe wear a different pair of cleats, maybe tape ankles, maybe it's just a fluke thing, right? But these things do happen, right? Especially when you look at the amount of work he's been getting, right? If we want to look back to Odell hurt a hamstring and really missed the first 4 weeks of the season, right? Neighbors is coming out saying, throw me. You heard it. I don't know if you guys heard his press yesterday. He just said he told Daniel Jones to throw the ball anywhere around him. He'll adjust his body and make that grab, which is basically what Odell would do, right? So we've got a dynamic guy, nothing to worry about. The update is that he's day to day. There isn't really too much to worry about, but I would definitely say we could definitely afford to shut him down for a week. Wouldn't be an issue, right?
Yep.
You guys agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's going to be the majority of our offense. So yeah, we know what he can do. I don't need to see him in preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially when you've now seen what he can do when he is in there. You're like, okay, sample size, we're good.
Yeah.
Don't let him get hurt. And for the record, guys, let's not overuse him too, right? Because, like getting him like reps over and over and over and over and over is great, but it also has the other side where sooner or later, something, could happen. We got 7 receivers on the roster. Let's give these guys a whirl too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Leak will be all right. Yeah, I agree, Mark. He's gonna be fine. I keep forgetting people are calling him Leak. It's kind of cool. I keep forgetting it though.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Cold? I see you guys, a couple of you guys still popping in the rooms. Good to see you guys. Hope you liked the unveiling of the new logo. I hope that you guys are fine with them shutting down Neighbors for a couple days, right, at the least. So, no news is good news. Let's take that approach right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, me too. He's the real deal, and he's super fun to watch. And I, whatever happens with Jones happens with Jones. But right now, this year, those two are going to have some fun. However, Sean,
oh boy,
it's beard or no beard. That cat better not shave his face, because right now he's hitting on all cylinders with the beard. You and I have been saying it for 6 weeks now. It's the bearded Jones that works.
Yeah.
If he shaves that beard, we might as well just pack it in.
Listen, when you got Kay Adams telling you to keep the beard, if he's a smart man, he'll keep the beard. So we got Kay Adams on our side. I tweeted out to Kay. She hit the like button on what I said. She's helping us keep the beard going. So we appreciate Kay Adams for that.
Yeah, pound out to Kay Adams. Look, again, this year seems a lot more fun, right? We're having some fun, right? We got a receiver, we got another tight end, we got some linemen. So why not? Like everything else hasn't worked, right? So let's go in a different direction. So keep the beard, Jones. Pound it out, dude. We're excited for your unshaven black beard face. Okay, next guy on the roster we need to talk about. Drew Phillips. Okay. Guy's been balling it out, mixing it up, literally showing you why they drafted him in the 3rd round. He's everything is advertised. He is going to be dialed back, shut down, because he's basically just playing and playing and playing and playing. He's a little bit sore, which is kind of normal. You know what I mean? Like for a guy, he's not overly a big dude. He's making a lot of plays. Any thought, Chris, on Drew Phillips? They said today they're going to dial him back. He might not get any snaps versus Texas. Might just let him rest.
Yeah, I think they took him out of practice today early, and you know what? He once again 2 practices last week with Detroit. He played a lot in those scrimmages, and then obviously the game Thursday night. So yeah, once again, you want to. These guys are rookies, a couple of them that we're talking about, and these guys you want to scale back a little bit. It's going to be a long season. No need to overwork them as well.
Agreed. Sean, anything on that?
No, I agree. I mean, listen, and they've been a lot more physical this year, which is great to see. He's a physical corner as it is. It's fine. Again, what they're doing in joint practices, I'm good with. I'm less concerned about preseason. A lot of people are up in arms over it, whatever, but if the GOAT Bill Belichick is saying you get more out of joint practices than you do out of preseason games, I am fine with that. Mm-hmm. Keep them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Drew Phillips is balling, looks good, real deal. Probably what we've kind of been missing, right? Physical corner, not afraid to mix it up. Good underneath coverage. Can run. With receivers, he can travel, right? So Drew Phillips, thumbs up, man. Like all the way around, that's a really solid 3rd round pick. Might even turn out better than we thought he was going to be, right? Like, you're like Kentucky, 3rd round, slot guy. I dig the kid. You know what I mean? I'm excited for what he's bringing to the table.
One of us thought he was going to be better than that 3rd round pick already when he was drafted.
Nobody knows.
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. We got to have a little excitement on the show tonight. We got a new logo. We got good things going on. I'm just saying, one of us said Drew Phillips was going to be a baller. He played in the SEC. He did all these great things. Man, let's go.
Ready away. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Props to Shawnee B. He was all over the Phillips thing. Blah blah blah. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. That's why he's here.
Right.
Love you too. Listen, another guy on the roster. Since we're going rosters. It's, you got to know what's going on right now with the roster because there's literally, there's 90 guys out on that field. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay, so I'm just going down the line, and then we'll jump into some of the things I saw today from the coaching staff, which was super cool. Just talk JMS. So JMS is not ready to go. Chris, any worry, apprehension, or you think it's just hey, let's take some time and get him right?
Yeah, well, last week there was a little worry because he wasn't able to go in those joint practices and the preseason game. But today, obviously, yesterday he was obviously
on the sideline
activated, but he started playing yesterday. Today with the pads on, he was doing one-on-one drills with contact, so that's a good sign. He wasn't in team, but he was at least in the one-on-one drills with contact. So, and I think one day at a time is how he put it in the press conferences. He's working his way up. But he's close. I mean, he'll be on the maybe not this weekend, but I would assume next week. I'm taking a guess he'll be full go with 11 on 11s.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. The time they get around 11 on 11, maybe even at worst case scenario after Texas,
right?
He should be. I would have to think pretty dang close to being. I don't know if these guys ever play at 100%, but it's off season, so I would think he's got to be pretty close to being 100%. They're definitely keeping that under wraps, Sean. Like, they're not saying a whole lot. But as Chris alluded to, we have seen him on the sidelines now.
Yeah, and unlike the years past, like to me, there's no real big reason to rush him back. Let him get healthy because he's the future. And with the way the line looked at the Lions, like there was a noted improvement with how they were working together, what they were doing. So I'm not overly concerned. Like, man, our line's going to suck if he doesn't come back. Let the kid get healthy. He's the long-term future.
All right, so Tuto's got this long ass remark here in the chat here. I'm going to put it on screen because it's so long. I can't even read it, Tuto. You're writing me a book, dude. Let's see, Craig. We're all frontline defensive players here. None of us were impressed with the Giants' O-line's mate. Their footworks and technique are real bad and very easy to flatten them. All right, well, we're going to get into that right now. Let's talk O-line. And by the way, again, a couple guys sliding in, Cold and Jake. Tim is popping in. Good to see you, Tim. I'll get to your question. What's real cold killing me on? It definitely wasn't Craig. What was it, me? Well, I wasn't the one that said Drew Lock sucked 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Yeah, no, you're right. That was me. Okay, that said Drew Lock sucked, and all you guys were like riding it. Oh no, Drew Lock sucks. Okay. So yes, that was me. That was 100% me. No.
See, I set you up, Craig, earlier by me saying I got Drew Phillips right. Now you can say you got Drew Lock right. See, that is what a point guard does at times. See,
feed me the rock, dude. Feed me the rock.
Easy layup for Craig.
Yeah.
No, dude. No, I'm. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. I'm more of a layup guy. I got no ups, so there's no dunks there. All right. So we talked a little bit about neighbors. We talked about Phillips. Talk a little about JMS. Cager and Stoll, they're back, ready to go. They're playing, so those guys are back. When we were at
Cager, actually, Craig, not to cut you off, but Cager actually, I think, Sean, did he re-aggravate the hamstring today?
When, today?
Yeah, he got hurt 2 different times at practice today. From what I saw, I don't know how serious it is, but yeah, he got hurt 2 different times. So
son of a bitch.
And today's practice supposedly was a very, there was no fans. Just media, but very full contact. No,
yeah,
it was
full contact, very, very physical. Yeah,
very physical. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, they, and the thing about Cager is because this morning I saw him going on the field, right? So I saw him run out, and I was like, okay, I was checking the report. There was like, hey, Stahl's back, and Stahl had a couple grabs today.
Yeah.
The media team of the Giants pumped out. If you subscribe or you follow whatever to giants.com, right? They fire out their media photos, and the media photos this year are tremendous, way better than they've been in the past. So whoever they brought in is doing a great job. I saw Cager walk out in the field. I saw Stoll grab a couple balls, right? So I didn't see anything after practice or during practice on Cager. It's going to be tough for Cager to make the team. He's not much of a blocker. He's more of a wide receiver. So it's a little bit tough. So I do feel bad that the cat got hurt again.
I wonder if he clears waivers, Craig and Sean. I mean, he doesn't have that big of a resume where he could slip through again and end up on the practice squad. That's the hope.
Well, all true. And I said I like the guy. I want him to do well. I just he just tends to get dinged up, right? This might be his 3rd year in a row being dinged up, right? Because he was this year. He was definitely hurt last year, and I'm pretty sure he missed half the year before that when he was hurt. So he just tends to get a little bit dinged up. Look at you, Shawnee, swiping the new logo in the background on rotation. That's teamwork right there.
That's
awesome.
Love it. Very good.
I try.
Okay. It's just, I'm like looking at it. I'm like, man, that looks like something I designed. Look how cool that looks. All right. Any of you guys hear the quote? I want to bring this up roster wise because it's a cool story, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. But any of you guys catch the quote from Coach Patterson today, the D-line coach, about the UDFA Elijah Chapman? Mm-hmm. Any of you guys see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So out there in Giant Land, we have a UDFA by the name of Elijah Chapman. He's from SMU, right? And he must be having a very, and again, you're getting as much information out of camp as I'm getting, right? But he must be making some impressions, right? But he's not an overly tall guy, right? So there was some conversation. Is he too short? Which, of course, goes back to me being a biased on short guys, which I know that's just setting me up, right? But Coach Patterson had a really, really cool quote today, guys. Don't know if you saw it, but the quote is, Elijah Chapman is short. He's not little.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on to say that he's having, a really good camp. And it turns out that he's the strongest guy. Now, I'm quoting this now from Coach Patterson. He's the strongest guy on the team. That is 90 guys. He's the strongest. This undrafted free agent is the strongest guy on the team. That says a lot from a really good defensive line coach who has seen a lot of defensive dudes, right? So I love the quote. He's short, but he's not little. And it turns out, yeah, you got it, Bill. Weight room monster, right? So he could be an outlier to make the team, Chris. No?
Yeah, I mean, you look at defensive linemen, maybe things are starting to change. When he's 5'11" or 5'10", 285, I mean, he's already got a low center of gravity, but the power, the strength, the quickness.
Yep.
It's a nice combination for an interior lineman.
Yeah, and Chris, I'm correct me if I'm wrong. You're looking for players to play next to Dexter. We know Nacho is going to get some really good snaps this year, and that third spot's kind of open, right? That third rotational guy.
Yeah, Ryder Anderson might be a little nervous right now on the defensive line because
I was just thinking that.
And I got to give Sean props. I mean, he was talking about Elijah Chapman back when the Giants picked him up undrafted, and so good job by Sean. And I think the write-up on him was the scouting report. He would have been drafted. It was just a height. It was just a height thing, really. But he's boy. I tell you what, imagine finding a diamond in the rough like that would be unbelievable for that defensive line. Hey, Craig, by the way, Giant Insider just they're in the show with us tonight.
I was just you beat me to it, Chris. Yeah, they're in here. So thanks, Giant Insider.
Thanks, Jerry.
Chris, we love Chris and Jerry. Love those guys. Can't say enough about the work those guys do. Keep up the great work, gentlemen. So love to see that you're hanging out with us for a little bit. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that, by the way, guys. Again, looking for that fourth rotational lineman. Really super excited about Coach Patterson's quote today. I was just like, what a great quote. Short, but not little. I was like, yes, I love that. So it was very cool. And also to tell me that this undrafted free agent is the strongest guy on the team definitely opened up my eyes to like, all right, well, usually we kind of predict who's going to make the team, who has value. Here's a guy who probably nobody even saw coming, unless you're digging into these UDFAs. So, props to Coach Patterson today.
Hey, Craig, I think he benches, and Sean benches over 500 pounds. When he was in the 7th grade, he was benching 225.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unbelievable. So,
and Jay's going to give me a hard time because it's another guy that I'm talking about, but that's what you got to do. You got to talk about the guys that aren't big stars yet. The height, he's a high motor guy. He already showed up in the preseason game with a high motor sack. He had the pressure. He did all this stuff. And he has Aaron Donald-like traits, but again, his height is what hurt him. So you have the Aaron Donald strength, the speed, all those things that trait-wise, not saying he's Aaron Donald, but yeah, it is a guy to keep a name out for sure. And
I don't know if it's Jerry or Chris that runs the insider account. Let's just say, that Elijah Chapman is definitely benching more than
of
Chris.
Course.
So
yeah, that's right. That's right. I got him by 20 pounds. Sure.
in 20 years, right?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
What's up? What's up, Jerry?
Thanks, Jerry.
Love it. Great stuff.
Oh my God.
Cheers to my Diamond Beach partner there. All right, hey, let's keep moving through. Roster wise, anything jump out at you that of note? First thing I saw today from the wide receiver room was that upcoming. The goal is to get Slayton, Hyatt, and Robinson the bulk of the work. We also know now Jones is going to play. So, Sean, I'll start with you. What's your thought on Jones playing? How much should he play? And what are you thinking about the combination Slayton, Hyatt, and Robinson? Because realistically, those are your number 2, number 3, and number 4 receivers, not in any specific order. Like this feels like a regular season game to me, right? Like, hey, let's roll some stuff out. Maybe not showing everything, but you tell me what your thoughts are on Jones playing with these 3 cats.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'd like to see them play at least a half because they're not going to play against the Jets probably at all because they have 2 joint practices that week as well, right? So I would like to see a half. Want to see what Hyatt can do. I know what Slayton can do. I'm not worried about seeing him, although he had a kind of a drop pass today. So, but Robinson and Hyatt, because Hyatt had a good practice day. He made some nice catches. His route running looks really improved. So you can see what he's done from last year, this year. So I want to see what he's going to do in a game. I want to see it transfer over to game. So he's the one I'm looking forward to out of that trio there.
And I love the fact that he's put some weight on too. It's noticeable. He's got a little bit more bulk, right, to his game. So that'll serve him right. How about you, Chris? How much do you want to see Jones play, Chris? And, you're going to get, again, bulk of the work from Robinson, Slayton, and Hyatt. Anything that you're looking forward to seeing? Or do you feel, hey, don't play those guys too much either? Like, what's your thoughts on playing them versus not playing them?
Yeah, once we'll be 3 weeks out from opening day. Play these guys, as much as they can, and then work the back end of the roster or the receiving core. But I think you're looking at Jones, just what Sean said. Either you're putting him up on drives. How many drives you want to give him? 7, 8 drives, or you want to go to the second half, and that's the end of it. Go, first 2 quarters, and then put Tommy DeVito in for third and fourth quarter. But I think to Sean's point, next week with the joint practices, playing the Jets, you're not gonna play Jones. I think a lot of starters you're going to see sit. So get the work in, and then maybe by halftime you start pulling.
So you both agree you want to see Jones for 2 quarters, 2 full quarters?
I want to see Jones for 2 quarters.
As long as the O-line, as long as the O-line the starting O-line stays for 2 quarters, yes.
Which is a great segue because the elephant in the room, as it is for the last 10 years, right? Like that little voice in your head says, what about the offensive line? Well, I'm glad you asked because, the shuffling of the O-line continues. Real simple question, Sean.
Yeah.
We now have, some shifting between guards and tackles. What's your overall thought with Van Roten? And of course, today, Runyon got a little bit dinged. So what's his name came in?
Kubis
came in.
Yep.
Give me your take on who you want to see settle in here, right? Yep. Because the elephant in the room is Neal, and he's off of PUP. In case anybody doesn't know, Evan Neal came off of PUP. So, and he's also come out saying, I'll play wherever they want me to play. So I don't know if that's something where it's a preemptive strike where he knows it's coming, or he's got some good people, telling him, hey, let's just go with the flow. Right. So Sean, leaving it to you, give me some O-line narrative here.
Yeah, well, I just want the best 5 guys. I don't really care who they are. I just want the best 5 guys out there. I like what Neal had to say. Let him earn his spot because competition is good. We've been talking about that for a while. We finally have that. So if he gets back on the field, if he ends up starting, it's because he earned it. Right now, he's not there because he's been out, right? So you can't just give him the starting tackle position. Luminar's done well. Again, I liked how that line looked against Detroit. I saw some things that we hadn't seen in a couple of years under Bobby Johnson, but give me the 5 best guys. Like, that's all I want. I don't care who plays where, who does what. Give me the 5 best guys. I don't care if they're shuffling, whatever. Just give me the 5 best guys. They're going to protect the quarterback, give our running backs lanes to run. And we saw that in the preseason game. Guys were connected to the hips. They were moving in unison. They weren't fooled by any stunts or twit. Like, none of that happened. It looked like an actual NFL O-line. So if they can do that in the regular season, I'm good. Give me the 5 best guys.
Chris, who are the 5 best guys?
5 best guys. Well, right now, you're going to see a Luminor at right tackle, right? And right guard, you got Van Roten. Or no, you move him back to left guard, right? He's again, depending on how you're. I forget what the unofficial depth chart says, right, but it says Runyon is the right guard.
I'm sorry. They put him at left. I think they put him at left guard when they moved the Luminar to right.
Yeah, when they moved it, right. So then you got Van Roten at right guard because they put him back to his natural spot.
And then they played together each other in Vegas.
Yeah. Yep. But getting back to Neal, I'm fine. He's in individuals, I guess, as well. He was full contact, but individual contact today. I'm fine with let him work up the speed. But next week, I said this back, and I think Sean and I talked about this back when training camp started. the goal for him is you got to be on that field by the Jet joint practices. He's got to be able to participate in those joint practices next week to close the, I would say close the gap on Illuminor, but it showed that at least he can come off the bench and play tackle. And I want to see him against 2s and 3s. I want to see him how he plays against 2s and 3s, Evan Neal. If he can't do it against 2s and 3s next week, he's I don't know if he'll ever get that job back.
I think Mark B also has a good point here. Depends on what happens with JMS, right? Because you don't know if who you're going to rest on to play center. As Sean alluded to last week, and we both agreed, like, Van Roten can play center, and like, we all don't like the round peg in the square hole thing, but if it's the best 5 guys, it's the best 5 guys, right? So, the key is, one is JMS healthy, right? 2, I know Runyon got stepped on today or got a little dinged up. Like, you're hoping that he's okay. I didn't see anything that pointed in the direction of him being out or hurt or down, just dinged up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sean, you got specifically a top 5 that you're looking at right now? Just name me 5.
I mean, if JMS is in, put him at center, and then you put Van Roten at right guard, Illuminar right tackle, Running left guard, Thomas there. If JMS is out, then I'm comfortable putting either Stinney or Kubis at right guard. And here's why I'll say that. Unlike years past, because the draft was as deep as it was, undrafted free agents aren't like they used to be. There was a lot of talent that dropped down the board. And I think that guy, he comes from a winning program. He did good things. And Baldinger talked about him on Baldy's breakdowns this week after the Lions preseason game. So if Baldy's talking about him, I'm okay with that. So that's what I'm kind of looking at, depending on who's healthy.
I'm sorry, Sean. Who's Baldy talking about? Kubis?
Kubis. Yeah. He had him on his Baldy's breakdown.
Well, I'll tell you, you saw when he signed that contract, I think it's a 3-year deal that it goes to almost $3 million.
Yep.
For 3 years, it averaged, that's the total.
Yep.
Right there tells you the Giants really saw a lot in him and didn't want any other team to take him away. So
yeah, like
good job by the personnel department.
Yeah, he brings that Nick Gates kind of mentality, but more talented than Nick Gates is. So you saw him out there. He got physical. He was, getting to the second level. He was, doubling up. He was doing some good things. So again, another name to keep an eye out on.
What's interesting about this, guys, is what excites me more than anything is we said this exact same thing about Van Roten last week, right? After Chris and I went to camp, right? Was we're seeing competition, over the last 5 years, offensive linemen were just gifted jobs. Like, there was no competition. Kubis and Van Roten are competing to the point where, I mean, listen, I know Runyon got paid pretty well, but like, there's some serious competition that these guys want to play. JMS is not gifted a job. And, over the last 5 years, the backups were Lemieux and what do you call it out of UConn that we had all that.
Matt Pert.
And Pert. Like, these guys couldn't compete and couldn't play. So right now, the best thing that we've done that flies under the radar on a daily basis, right, is the fact that the backups can start today. Yeah. Like, they're, if it's Kubis or
Stinney,
and then throw in Van Roten because they didn't offer him a starting gig, right? I mean, he may wind up starting if JMS is out. But if you think about Van Roten, Stinney, and Kubis, like, those 3 guys are light years ahead, of Lemieux and what do you call it? I can't even.
Matt Pert.
I mentally blocked him out.
Smart.
Okay. So the good thing is this line is in very good shape. I don't know if they're going to carry 9, if they're going to carry 8. I guess carry 8. But those 8 that we just mentioned, they're light years ahead of where we've been before, guys.
Yeah. Well, you also had the other undrafted free agent out of Missouri there. I forget his name. Is it Marcellus Johnson or whatever?
Marcellus Johnson, yeah.
Yeah, he actually played pretty well also in that game from what I saw. So you got guys that are stepping in that, like you said, Craig, like, man, if this was last year and the backups were playing against Detroit, we would have got, like, destroyed. So I'll tell you,
And Sean, to your point with Marcellus Johnson, a guy like that who's undrafted, it'd be hard pressed to think he would end up on somebody's 53 on cutdown day. He's a guy, prime example, that will end up back on the practice squad and just keep developing and growing.
Yeah, because he's a big dude. Like, he's huge, like height and weight wise. He's a big dude.
Want to give quick props to Darius too, guys, on the line, because he says Illuminar and Van Roten are, basically his dream acquisitions, right? Because we just never get the right guy, right? We never get the right guy, or we never get the lineman. And like, we're sitting on 3 free agents that have a potential to start.
Yeah.
So like, what does that say about the offensive line coach? What does that say about what Shane did? What does that say? It says it's just a new team. It's a new era that they're actually paying attention. This group of linemen, guys, I'm not to sound over dramatic, but this group of guys, these 8 guys, are probably the best group of guys that we've had in at least 6 or 7 years. No?
Yeah. Long.
Yeah. And Dabo said his emphasis this year on guys they were signing or drafting was all about physical and toughness. And you saw that in the first game on both sides of the ball. So they made a concerted effort, and that's what you want out of linemen, right? Like, you had guys that were banging other guys around, and getting after it.
And Jay puts up, says, we've got respectable depth now. Nobody sucks. It's not only respectable, it's to the point where like some of these guys will start on another team.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin Booth and Gray Rugemer. Now we got guys like that.
By the way, we've interviewed Kevin Booth. We've interviewed Kevin Booth. I actually liked Kevin Booth because that guy played tackle, guard, and center.
Yeah, Booth. And Gray Rugemer, there's a shout. Wow, look at that. Yeah. All right, Nails.
Sean, I've been holding on to that one for
seriously. How long you been waiting on that one? All right.
Too long.
Look at the sleeves come off and the brains come out. Look at that.
Yep. And Jay said, "Don't
it's
forget
like a 3-point shooter. I'm 1 from 20 from the 3-point land. I finally hit one."
and Jay says Guy Wimper, and wasn't Guy Wimper the guy that OC had 6 sacks against when he left us? He went to the Eagles. All good stuff.
Yeah,
all
good stuff.
All right, so I think we're all on the under the impression, like, again, vastly improved offense. Let's hit real fast, guys, on the running back room. I did, I didn't put it in the notes, but we got to acknowledge what we saw a couple nights ago, and that's a guy that listen. I'm sure all you guys are going to say, "Not me. I knew he was awesome," because that's what you guys do. But Eric Gray looked different, right? All of a sudden, the guy has some vision. Maybe he just needed the chance, or he needed a hole to run through. So definitely makes the running back room a little bit more congested. Sean, Chris, I'll start with you. Running back room, what are we doing now? We carrying 4, carrying 5? Who you carrying? What did you think of the other night?
Well, I tell you, I don't want to give up on Dante Miller. I really want them to hold on to him. But now after Eric Gray, I mean, I was thinking 3, but maybe you do keep 4 just because.
Eric Gray stole the freaking show, dude.
Yeah, I know. And I think, we get enamored with the breakaway speed and stuff like that. These other running backs, he has that quick burst, but he showed. He got to the end zone, and not that he has another gear, but he was able to, go 40 yards.
Even catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
was like,
he's making a case, to be this number 2.
I'm like, I was literally like this. Where was this last year? Now, again,
we got to see more of it, though. That was one game. We got to see more of it. But I'm with
at least it's in him, right? At least it's in him.
Right.
I wasn't
sure. It's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have. Sean, how about you? Yeah. What's your running back room?
Yeah, well, listen, the last couple of years on a Dable, he's kept 4 running backs, so I think they're going to keep 4. Gray definitely surprised me. I didn't think he had it. And again, we'll see. Like, I'll give him props for what he did. It was against 2s. Can he outrun 1s? Can he get that same? But the catch, like you said, was really good. I think Tyrone Tracy Jr. is going to be the number 2 back just with what he offers with that. But again, it's a nice problem to have, right? You got 4 running backs that come in and do the job. Miller's got that, special teams, which with that new rule, like, I think he'll be huge there. He was in what the 3rd and 4th stringers, so he couldn't see, like, he didn't have a lot of holes to run, but all these guys, and here's what I'm going to say, the difference that people have overlooked. Joel Thomas coming over from the Saints, who coached Alvin Kamara, is now coaching our running backs. You don't think there was a noticeable difference with our running backs and he had an impact on that? I mean, clearly quick to the hole, everything that needed to happen. And they, again, like you said, Gray catching that. I'm going to give credit to Thomas on that.
Yeah, and remember, we probably never really thought much about it in the past because it was the Saquon Barkley show. So now we're actually like paying attention to the attributes of the running backs on the roster, what they do well and where they fit.
Yep.
That was a position we never discussed because it was Barkley's team, Barkley show, Barkley. Now we're at a new precipice, and it's like, hey, did you know this guy can do this? And all of a sudden now it's a little bit more to talk about. It's definitely a lot more fun to discuss, but the variety is very cool, right? We talk about the thunder and lightning and the earth, wind, and fire and all that stuff that we have fun with as fans. But, Turbo and Gray, Tracy, Singletary, they're all going to do something a little bit different, right? The only thing that they're really missing probably is a big thunder back, a guy that can just is bigger and lay the hammer on dudes. But I don't know if it's necessary, but it definitely is going to be interesting cut day on, like you mentioned, Sean, that Dable has carried 4 in the past.
Yeah. And listen, Turbo can be that power back because he was bouncing off guys. He's got thick legs and the speed he has. So he's not going to be like the Brandon Jacobs type, but I think he can be that guy that can break through short yardage and stuff if they utilize him that way. And here's what I'll say, people commenting on like preseason hype and guys like this. What you look at is where was the improvement? You saw things from Gray that he wasn't doing last year, that burst, that the cutback that he had. Like those are things, not necessarily the end result, because again, we know it was against the two, the number 2s, but you're seeing where that improvement came in. So that's what you look at, not the end result, but where do you see even improvement? What's he showing that he hasn't shown in the past?
For me, it's field vision.
And
That's what I love. Just, hey, they're getting the rock, and it could be because they have holes where they didn't last year. But if you're looking for progression from year to year, Eric Gray looked like he saw the field dramatically better than he did last year. Again, he didn't have a ton of opportunity, but just in general, you're getting used to the speed of the game. And even Newbin came out, man, it's all about matchups in the pros. That was a quote from Newbin today. So nice to see Gray just, in my estimation, see the field better. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say, in talking about yards after contact, isn't that right, Sean or Craig? I think Singletary was like top 5 the last couple of years with yards after contact. So, a guy that, could break tackles. So I think the running back room is just going to be maybe a little unexpected, surprise, which would be great.
Yeah, and Mark brings up a good point here too. There's clearly the style of running backs we have fit in with what Brasillo is teaching when it comes to run blocking scheme. Like that's noticeable as well. It's all give a hole, hit the hole quick, make a cut there, and that's what the line's doing. They're opening up that hole, allowing the backs to get through it, and then they can do whatever they need to do once they get past it.
And I think we all agree, again, it's okay to like Saquon Barkley and it's okay to hate Saquon Barkley. That's up to you. But as good as he was and is, depending on, what you want to put on that, he wasn't a hit the hole fast kind of guy. Right. I mean, could he do it? Yes. Did he? No. Right. He was more like, hey, that's really not there. I need to find the secondary hole. Let me blow through it, around it, or whatever, and make a guy miss.
A little that Barry Sanders in him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. These guys that we have are more, in line with guys a little less talented, but shooting above their talent, right? I've got B+ talent. I'm going to show you what I do with it to be. Listen, Tiki Barber started off that way, right? 2nd round draft pick, Virginia Tech. He's a scat back, 3rd down back, and he turned out to be the best back in history, potentially Hall of Fame, 10,000 yards rushing because he just figured out how to run in the A gap and the B gap. And all of a sudden it was like off to the races because he was patient, running through the center of the field and picking his way. These guys are very similar. I'm not saying they're Tiki Barber. I'm just saying, if you notice, there are a lot of A and B gap runs, and they're literally hitting the hole so fast that, they're up on the second level. We haven't had that since Barkley because that's not the way it's not his running style.
Right. Yep.
As you will know, Shawnee, you're a running back, so that's your thing.
Yeah, that's my thing. So
All right. Let's transition over real fast to the defensive side. I'm going to scroll all the way back through the comments because Tim had a comment about Kayvon. I'm going to look for it here. All right, here it is here. So Tim says, will Kayvon set a single sack record with 24 and win the NFL Defensive Player of the Year honors this season? Wow, that's a lot to bite off. Guys, Tim, you know what? If that happens, let's just say this, and maybe I'm pontificating here or wishful thinking. If that happens, the Giants are going to win 11 games. If you have the defensive player of the year on your team, you are shutting dudes down. You are literally, that one guy, Tim, is being schemed up every week from every team. When you had J.J. Watt, when you had Lawrence Taylor, when you had Ray Lewis, when you got guys like that, like you scheme, you stay up at night trying to figure out how to stop them. So I don't see that happening. I don't know if he's that type of a player. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't know if he's that type of player. But if he was, I would expect an 11-win season because he's literally going to just wreck. You're talking about defensive player of the year, 24 sacks. You're literally setting the league on fire, giving them notice that you're the best in the game. So, Sean, what's your thought here on Tim's comment?
Yeah, so I think Brian Burns stands a better chance than Kayvon, and that's not putting anything down against Kayvon. But what I will see is I have noticed a difference in Kayvon this year from last year, at least in practice-wise. So I think he'll benefit from having Burns on the other side, but I do think Burns has a better shot of doing 24. Not that he'll get it, but and again, I think Kayvon, he's hungry. This defense is hungry. Like they were getting after the quarterback with just 4 guys, right? So you're going to see an emphasis. We're going to see a Kayvon that we haven't seen in the 2 years under Wink because that's not what it was, right? These guys, the 4 down linemen, are going to get after the quarterback. So that's why I think Kayvon's going to surprise us. I think I'll do last year's sack total, but I don't see him getting 24.
And guys, just because we're the chat's firing up about 24. I think the record is 21 and a half. I think it's tied with him and TJ Watt, Strahan, and right? Or is it 22 and a half? Yeah, not 24. But here's the thing, guys. If I can get 13 sacks out of Kayvon and I can get 13 to 15 sacks out of Burns, we're winning games, man. I mean, like we haven't had 2 guys with those type of sack numbers in forever since OC and Strahan.
Yeah.
So if you get 2 guys, not just double digits, you can get 2 guys with 10 sacks. But if you can get guys that, and add an extra 6 to 8 sacks on that's a potential another game to win, right, Chris? If you get 2 guys at 13, defense, 14, 15 sacks.
You would think you get one game out of that. Yeah. With 2 guys, 12 to 15 sacks, and God forbid Ojulari were to throw in 8 to 10, right?
Well, don't bring him up right now.
I know
he did nothing.
No,
jack shit. Pardon my language against.
But we know what he can do. So we've seen it.
We have. But if you're not putting up anything against the second and third stringers, like I don't know if he was just taking a night. That's not what you want to see. That was very disappointing to see that he had 0 impact in that game at all. You had guys that were. You had Ryder Anderson making more of an impact, Chapman making more of an impact. You had was it Whitley? What's the guy's name? The linebacker there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You had a guy at Texas, Ovi, whatever, making more of an impact, getting more of a rush. Didn't make sense. I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I rambled there, but it was extremely disappointing that you were a starter in this league and now you can't get pressure against their 2s. Like what the hell is that?
Let's be very clear here. The guy owns the rookie sack record for the New York Giants. Okay. For anybody whoever doesn't know, in 1981, they didn't record sacks. So the 9.5 sacks that Taylor had didn't count for anything but guys like us that just know it. Okay. But Ojulari as a rookie had 8 sacks. He has this season. In fact, before that, it was BJ Hill at 6.5. And again, it's useless knowledge that I know. But BJ Hill had it at 6.5, and then it became Ojulari. So it's in there. I just don't really know what happened, what's gonna happen. Maybe he was taking it easy because he was afraid to get hurt. I don't know. But if to Chris's point, if you get a couple sacks, it's not a bad place to be.
Somebody to keep an eye on Saturday, Ojulari. This will be a big spot for him. Big spot.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the defense. Chris, what's your take on the defensive backs right now? Coach is talking very highly about Dane Belton's game. Really loves what he's doing. Of course, he's already come out and said it's his job to lose. Newman was giving some interviews today, saying, and Mark Thompson, nice to see you, my friend. It might have been 5.5. I just remember it was BJ Hill. It could have been 5.5, 6. But it was BJ Hill at a time. But thanks, Mark.
Mark, our local historian. He knows. Right. He's got the numbers right there. He's got the.
And by the way, Darius, all Giants fans. Here, let me put this up here.
Yeah.
All Giants fans count it.
Yeah.
Right. All Giants fans count those 9 sacks.
Go back and
Taylor
count
rookie year.
Right.
If he had those 9 sacks, I think that puts him. Puts him in top 3, top 4. With those extra sacks. And he didn't play 1,000 years like Bruce Smith did. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So Newman's on today. Basically, the question asked to him, Chris, was, what's the difference between college and the NFL? He said the first thing out of the gate was, this is a matchup league. He's like, everything's about matchups unless you have Jefferson on the other side, then you throw out matchups because the ball's going to Jefferson. He's like, and he had some fun with the reporters because he dropped a couple F-bombs in there and they all got a good laugh out of it because he's like, look, it's matchups. Unless Jefferson's over here, then the ball's going there. Newman's definitely made a little bit of an impact. I think you guys saw him. He basically pancaked one of the Lions' offensive linemen.
Third string guy. Yeah.
So that's a lot of power from a 200-pound guy. Guy weighed 100 more pounds to him when he pancaked him. So Newman's definitely a physical player. I'm hoping that the guy can get on the field. I love the fact that it's Belton's job to lose, which is also cool. Chris, what are we looking like? I know you follow the roster like back of your hand. What are we looking for here? I mean, Flott seems to be slowly disappearing.
I feel, well, going back to Newman, I feel like Newman's closing the gap a little bit on Belton. I think Newman had an interception practice today, and he played well the other night. But, we've seen Cordell Flott kind of diminish a little bit, and it looks like Nick McLeod is going to – and Flott also had a quad injury, so McLeod's going to get a lot of the looks now at CB2. Trey Hawkins had a good game, right, Sean and Craig? So I think Trey Hawkins – coming off the bench, I don't think he's going to be a starter. But I tell you what, coming off the bench, providing some good depth. And then obviously we talked about Drew Phillips at the slot, position. So we're solid there.
The kid's unstoppable.
My only concern is, God forbid, Deonte Banks gets hurt. I think it puts us in a little conundrum there with Banks. We think he's a CB1. I want to believe he is. And if just in terms of depth, if something were to happen to him, I think could be in a little trouble. So I hope one of these other guys step up.
Well, and Jerome Henderson talked very highly of Flott today. Flott is injured. He said he was disappointed to see he got injured because he was really starting to step it up, show improvements, really making plays. So Jerome Henderson was very high on, but he also talked high on McLeod as well. But I agree with you, Chris. Like, Hawkins looked good, and listen, Herndon looked good too. He just made a dumb play on trying to get extra yards and get that fumble. But
I don't.
He, she had guys there, and keep in mind we haven't seen Jalen Mills play at all. Like, is he gonna? Where is he gonna be? Is he gonna be a cornerback? Is he gonna be a safety? Like, so you
is he gonna make the team because he's on the pup still? So
right, so you don't know, but I mean, again, listening to Henderson talk today, and again, he talked high of Phillips, he talked high of Flott, he talked high of McLeod. I think with the way Bowen runs his defense, I'm less concerned about that CB2 because they're going to play a lot more zone and they're going to have a lot of 2 high safety looks. So you're going to have guys that are you're not going to expose them on an island. And this defense is much simpler than what Wink ran. Like everybody's talking about, and you could see guys playing fast and athletic. Again, including Hawkins, like you mentioned there, and other guys, like they were all over the field, knowing where they needed to be. So their athleticism is going to come out. So I'm not as concerned because I think the pass rush and playing zone is going to cover up whatever weaknesses that we had in those other cornerback spots.
I think it's also worth three guys that also come into play here, guys, that is going to help the overall defense from a pass rush standpoint, right? Allows the corners to cover less. One is Simmons, right? Simmons is going to be playing as a third high safety, or Simmons is going to be taking away that tight end, right? So you may have some flexibility there because here's this big rangy linebacker that can play safety, right? So that kind of gives you some leeway with your CB2 and your slot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just changes it when you have a guy that really can play linebacker but can play safety. I think that allows you to do a lot more than if you didn't have a guy like Simmons, right?
Yeah.
And then from a pass rush standpoint, if you're worried, Chris, about is Banks a CB1? We hope so. Who's going to play CB2? I think with a simpler offense, what you're going to also see is McFadden and Okereke are great inside blitzers, right? Actually, I would almost go to say that Okereke is an outside blitzer and McFadden's an inside blitzer, right? And McFadden in the A gap, Okereke in the D gap. And that does a lot for your team too when your inside linebackers can rush, because that takes the pressure off these guys covered for 6-7 seconds, right? So I just think overall that the talent we have at all the positions is very underrated, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, Craig. Yeah, to your point, Craig, another guy until he got injured that was going to help take is that Deontay Johnson. That guy is fast, covering, getting to the quarterback. He made a tackle on the outside of that quarterback that, we haven't had too many guys as a linebacker that could run Hendon Hooker down and make that play on the outside, right? So, to your point, there's another guy that can help take the pressure off of that back.
Yeah,
four.
I mean, we got three linebackers. Yep. When's the last time we had three linebackers, Chris, that could actually blitz?
It's been a while. Yeah, the blitz. Yeah, sure. And getting back to Isaiah Simmons, what's nice about him is, it being that Swiss Army knife like we all talk about. But when the offense is having personnel changes, right, they're coming in and out with different personnel. It allows Simmons to still remain on the field, which makes things less complicated on the defense, and you're not stuck in now we're going to go after him. Look who's now we're getting on the linebacker here, when really you can't do that with Simmons.
No, I'm actually very excited about the defense. You know what I mean? I'm just excited about the defense. Like, we're going to be able to rush a passer. We're going to stop the run. And yeah, don't get me wrong. If you're asking me what the hole is, you are hoping that Banks is CB1, right? He's kind of you guys both know, like I wanted Banks. He was the guy I wanted. That was the guy they got. But I don't know how much zone he's meant to play. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of a physical guy. He's a bump and run guy. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm hoping that he can adjust to playing 60% zone, right? I mean, like, I don't know what the exact number is, but they're going to play a lot of zone. So I'm hoping that he has the ability to settle in and play in space, right? Because I know he wants to be on the hip of whatever's, coming at him, whether he's traveling or not. So I hope because if he can't handle traveling and can't cover the number one, that would be the only kink in the armor. For me, everything else, I think you have moving pieces. But if Banks can't consistently cover the number one, that would be hard to recover from. But I do have full faith that he can do it. Like, it may just be a little bit of a learning curve to play a lot in space, right? But I think he's good enough to do it.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they play. It looked like they played a good amount of that Tampa 2, which could fit to his strengths. He's bumping off the line. He's helping in run support. So, if they're playing majority of that and less of cover 3, then, again, I think that could benefit where his skill set lies as well.
I'm also hoping that him going against neighbors in practice is helping him.
Just going to say that, yeah.
Oh, easily.
Got to.
Easily, those two.
Because I will tell you, like, from the layman's eye, I guess, because you only get to see it, like, through a third party when it comes out, it looks like neighbors toasts the crap out of him on most plays. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, again, I'm the, what does Cold always call me? The get off your lawn guy.
Yeah.
But like Sean, we're roughly close in age. We were always taught to look back for the ball. Keep run on the hip, inside hand, right? Snap your head back for the ball, put your hands through. And they're taught more of like, the rule change to that face guarding rule they threw out is to play the diamond, right? They're coming through the diamond. Sometimes they're pulling an arm down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just think that these guys are so good body control wise that you could play the diamond till you're clear in the face. If you can't see the ball, you don't know where to be. I wish they would go back and teach guys like Banks more of turn back for the ball, because he's not overly tall. And when he plays tall receivers and he plays through the diamond, like he just can't see where the ball is. And these guys are 6'4". They're coming over the top. They're pulling balls over the top of them.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them go a little bit old school and play on the hip and turn back, snap back for the ball. I bet I would just like to see it because of the kind of corners we have. We don't have big rangy corners. I don't know. That's a little technical, I guess, but
reading the receiver's eyes. Look, when the receiver looks back, you look back. I mean, but receivers got smart too. They were playing off of DBs, faking, looking back, faking. So they're. I would like to see a little old school as well. I think fundamentals have gotten bad, but I'd say, listen, Neighbors is going to beat a lot of DBs this year, so I'm not overly concerned that he's getting beat in practice, right? Like, and he went up against Justin Jefferson. He's gone up against guys. So again, the two of them going at each other, every practice is good for both of them. But again, Neighbors is going to beat a lot of cornerbacks this year, a lot of them. He was open every play in preseason. Like he was, so.
All right, housekeeping stuff. Craig, the grumpy old man of podcasting. Thank you. At least he's consistent. You know what I mean? Like I listen. There's not a rush podcast if Cole's not here busting on someone. Normally he's busting on Sean about not earning a T-shirt yet. So it's always fun to have. Or Jay's off his medicine and he's calling me 5'7" and all sorts of crazy stuff. So we appreciate you guys. We're glad you guys are here. Housekeeping wise, all right. So either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to turn on the website. If you want to play fantasy football, it's the second annual Ballers League. Last year it was $50, and this year I'm going to keep it $50, but I'm going to up the ante to 2 grand prizes, right? For the teams that go to the finals. Okay, I'm not going to give away 1. I'm going to give away 2 autographed Giants jerseys. All right. So the winner last year, Joe, won a autograph of Monty Toomer jersey, right? And it was pretty badass, So this year I'm going to keep the fee the same. So if you want to play, jump in. It'll go live. So what you'll do is you go to the site, you go to nygiantsrush.com, hit fantasy, you'll register. Once you register and pay, it'll kick you a link out in your receipt. Take that link, hit it. It'll bring you right to the league registration fee page, and you're going to play against Spartan Mike. If I get more than 12 of you folks, I think we have 5 now, right? I know there's a couple of you guys that want in. If I get more than 12, which I probably will, let me know, because we could do 2 leagues and you could play against Sean, and we'll make 2 leagues and we'll do 12 each. So if I can get 24 of you nut jobs to play fantasy, like I said, I'm going to step up with, in that case, by the way, if I get 2 leagues, I'll give away 4 autographed Giants jerseys, 2 per league.
Wow.
So, right. So just saying right now, I have, I'm going to, I'm going to roll out, 2 jerseys for both teams that go to the finals. All right. Is that fair? Are you guys cool with that, Joker? You got you?
Yeah.
Cool
Hell yeah. Give it away. Give people. Now, I don't know if you saw, but Jay said he tried the link because I sent it to him. I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but he said he tried it but it didn't work. Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing it's not set up yet.
Yeah, I didn't.
The fact that he was even willing to do it, I got him the link right away. I didn't want to, change his mind.
Yeah. It's all good. I didn't activate it yet because I had to wait for Spartan Mike to give me the back end link to put it on the website. So what I'll do is everything goes through nygiantsrush.com. You hit fantasy, it comes up. You hit you PayPal or Venmo. It goes through, and when you get a receipt, it'll give you the link right there. And when you hit that link, it automatically populates you into the team page. So you'll be ready to go. By the way, I'll also throw a prize pack in there for the team with the best name. We had some really fun names last year of their teams, so we'll have a vote too on the with the team who's got the best team name. So, and if I get I'll have one league at 12. If I get enough, we'll do some boomer website. What does that mean? I don't understand that. The website's old. I don't.
Yeah, Jay, because it was set up through Yahoo Sports, was like, oh, what are we doing? Like AOL type stuff? Like, he's just busting chops again.
Oh, okay.
Nobody uses Yahoo Sports Fantasy. It's a boomer, fantasy league to be in.
Wait, what else should we wait? If we don't use Yahoo, what's non-boomer fantasy? It's like a
well, you have ESPN or you have CBS Sports CBS Sports.
All right, so look, let's be very, very clear. Spartan Mike is 28 years old. He's the one that chose Yahoo, not me. I don't play fantasy football. Okay? Fantasy football by you Gen Z / crybaby millennials chose Yahoo. Okay, Jay? All right, so that's out of the way. We're gonna try to do something for the Thursday night game when Shawnee comes to town. So if you're coming in, I know Mark said he's are you following through on these prizes? Yeah. I mean, ask Joe. Joe Deutsch 20. Hang on. Jay
Deutsch 23.
23. Ask him yourself. He'll say there's pictures on the timeline, Mark. I'm surprised Mark Thompson would even doubt that I wouldn't come through. Now, there are some, Mark, that I promise you, but you gave me a very small window to send it to somebody, and I didn't have I couldn't get it. So I do owe you the shirt. I just didn't have time to get it through. I can send it to right to the Caribbean. I know you said it'll cost money, but money's no object for me when it comes to you, Mark. You know that. No, I do owe Mark a t-shirt. I do have it. It's right here. He won the straight off the couch shirt from Justin Pugh, but I had a little small window to get it to his relatives in, I think, Miami. So yeah, that was my bad. I definitely missed that window, Mark, but I'll never let you down. I will get it to you. I promise. I have it sitting right here in my office. But if you have any doubts, just ping Joe. Joe will show you a picture of his beautiful Amani Toomer jersey. Let's see. Craig's selling Wolf tickets again. What's Wolf tickets? What's that? What's that mean? What's Wolf tickets? Does anybody know what that means?
I don't know.
All right. And it must be a Gen Z thing. All you Gen Z whiners. I know, Mark. I know you're having fun. I'll get it to you. You have to send me where to send it, and I'll get it there. Miami or Caribbean. All right. So wrapping up, 9:15. Ran a little bit longer. For anybody that hasn't seen the kick-ass logos that I make, guys, are you comfortable if I show them one more time here?
Yeah, show it.
Oh.
All right, guys. Here is the new 2024 logos that will be in the store this week. In case look, dude, I think this is absolutely the best thing that I've created. I am super excited. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to put you guys in the background. Check this out. And that will conclude the show for this evening.
Love it.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Hope you guys like the logos. I don't know. I mean, I've got some all good comments from you guys. How lame is that? You don't like it? Mark is a great Power Rush, and you had one job. I thought he was talking about the logo. I was like, what? Yeah, well, I hate to tell you, Cold. Sometimes I'm a little bit busy, and I definitely missed my 3-day, 72-hour window. Mark. I was hanging out with Mark at training camp. By the way, super cool dude. So excited to actually meet Mark. Yeah, it was awesome, right? He sat down by us.
Yeah, he found
You
us. He
know,
found us. Yeah.
yeah. I heard him yelling, Craig, up the thing. I was like, get your ass up here. So, yeah, man. Mark and me have a pretty cool relationship. I've seen his son and his grandson's highlight films and their huddle films. So I've taken the time to check his kids out, which is and his grandkids out. Super cool. Mark's a great guy. If you don't follow him, do me a favor and follow Mark. He's always a fun guy. Some of these guys, even Mark Thompson, all these guys are OGs. We're glad you guys were around. Tell your friends, dude, follow the Rush guys, right? Fantasy football's coming. I just showed you the new logos. They'll be available. We're going to give some away. I got to order some for the crew. These guys got 20-inch biceps. They can't fit in normal shirts. So, and then if you buy them a normal shirt, they cut the sleeves out of them anyway. So, I need to find a shirt with the sleeves already cut out. You just get it like this.
Look at
My
that.
arms are 20
Wow.
inches.
Whoa.
Like this.
Wow, all righty. Look at that.
You carved up
guys-
tonight. Nice job.
Craig was feeling some kind of way when we showed our arms off earlier, Chris.
I'm jealous. All you guys were I was like, oh, look. I can't compare to these guys, especially Joker's arms. He's got enough ink to, write 1,000, word essay on. So I can't see anything past all the sadistic, crazy artwork he's got going. But look, all good fun, man. Thanks for supporting the show. Appreciate you guys. Logos will be up soon. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week. And definitely, if you want to play fantasy football, just keep an eye on it. We got 7 spots open right now. And I'm hopeful that we get more than the 7, because then I'll open up a second league. You could play against Sean. As long as Sean is game to play. I think he is. Sean, you're game to play?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get certain guys that are in my league, that's for sure, because I'm going to talk trash with all of them. We got guys from Ireland and the UK that are going to get in on our fantasy league as well. So we can't have – listen, I got like 5 people the other day that said they wanted to play when I put the post out. So
all right,
everybody needs to step up their game over here.
All right, so we might actually have to have two leagues, which is fine. One against Spartan Mike, one against Shawnee. Like I said, the teams that go to the Super Bowl, I will give an autographed Giant jersey away to each guy. Got no problem with it. I already got the one. It's on its way for this year. It's so badass. It's very tempting. It's very tempting to keep it. but of course, gonna give it to you guys. All I ask is just let everybody know you like what we do here at Rush. Tell everybody, get them to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps us do some cool stuff. But we're gonna do some cool stuff too with all those. I never played fantasy. Mark, just get in it so you can beat Spartan Mike. The whole goal is to beat Spartan Mike down because of all the crap he talks about Jones all year long. You don't even have to like Jones, but just to beat Spartan Mike's ass at something feels good. So you guys got to join just for that reason only. All right, guys, 9:19, 4 minutes over. That's Chris. That's Joker. You know me. I'm Craig, King Rush. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.